Welcome to the Gospel Road. Going to look at Proverbs 18 today. Spring is sprung, at least for a few days. We'll see what happens because spring can still be crazy. Very wet, but 3 days into spring. 3 full days. All right, let's look at it. Proverbs 18. Whoever isolates himself seeks his own desire. He breaks out against all sound judgment. A fool takes no pleasure in understanding, but only in expressing his opinion. When wickedness comes, contempt comes also, and with dishonor comes disgrace. The words of a man's mouth are deep waters. The fountain of wisdom is a bubbling brook. It is not good to be partial to the wicked or to deprive the righteous of justice. A fool's lips walk into a fight, and his mouth invites a beating. A fool's mouth is his ruin, and his lips are a snare to his soul. The words of a whisperer are like delicious morsels. They go down into the inner parts of the body. Whoever is slack in his work is a brother to him who destroys. The name of the Lord is a strong tower. The righteous man runs into it and is safe. A rich man's wealth is his strong city, and like a high wall in his imagination. Before destruction, a man's heart is haughty, but humility comes before honor. If one gives an answer before he hears, it is his folly and shame. A man's spirit will endure sickness, but a crushed spirit who can bear? An intelligent heart acquires knowledge, and the ear of the wise seeks knowledge. A man's gift makes room for him and brings him before the great. The one who states his case first seems right until the other comes and examines him. The lot puts an end to the quarrels and decides between powerful contenders. A brother offended is more unyielding than a strong city, and quarreling is like the bars of a castle. From the fruit of a man's mouth his stomach is satisfied. He is satisfied by the yield of his lips. Death and life are in the power of the tongue, and those who love it will eat its fruits. He who finds a wife finds a good thing and obtains favor from the Lord. The poor uses entreaties, but the rich answer roughly. A man of many companions may come to ruin, but there is a friend who sticks closer than a brother. Proverbs 18 is what we looked at today. Again, like I said, you can really come in and break these down into some great motivational pieces as you look at each verse individually. So as I always say, really look at it and focus on it for yourself. See where it is that it really embraces where you are in your life. But I love this in the last, it says, but there is a friend who sticks closer than a brother. I mean, that's a question I ask myself every day. Am I a friend that sticks closer than a brother? Am I a friend who's going to help someone be there when they need something? And I'm not saying I am the best at that. I fail many times. But at the same time, it's really helping others be the best that they could be. 21, death and life are in the power of the tongue. That is so true. Watching what it is that you say, really trying to do your best to build others up. Helping them be the best that they can be. I mean, I know what the words feel like when someone says something to me that tears me down. I mean, the research, you hear about it all the time. You read about it all the time. When you're looking at the motivational books, that the bad pieces will stick in your mind more. The bad things that people say more than the positive. That's why they say when you're trying to help others grow, you need to give them praise 70% of the time with 30% of criticism. And with that criticism, you have to be careful with how you are giving that criticism. And again, I'm not saying that I'm always the best at giving it the right way. But you need to be able to support that, to really help them be the best that they can be, to really grow in their life, to make that next step. This past week was kind of huge for me because I had a couple different conversations. One, a friend of mine went and participated in a karaoke contest. And through the whole time, I said that it's going to be fine. You're going to be great. I mean, always. But you can just sit there and see the fear and the anxiety. And I know what it's like sitting there. I know what it's like waiting to go on stage. I know what it's like just waiting to hit record for me to do this every week. The anxiety that goes through my mind. I know some people that run across the podcast and listen to it and, tell me how great it is. And I say thank you. And I go, it's not the best. I just kind of, boot up the computer, turn it on, hit record, and go. That's really what I do. I don't put a lot of thought into this. I mean, a little. But it's just kind of sharing on my heart. Again, like I say, when I talk about the words, when we're, sharing what's in the scripture and applying that to our lives to really help us be better, to turn that into something where we can really share that to be better, to help others be better. I mean, part of that conversation the same night, I was talking to someone else that I know, and they were telling me about a podcast that they do. And then I'm sharing with them about a podcast that I'm going to be launching here in about a month or so, which I'm telling you, scaring going crazy, even with the great things that people keep telling me about it. Again, I'm not the best on thinking about me. And I know I've said that probably more than you want to hear, but it's true. But it's really encouraging and inspiring others to help them be the best that they can be. Do what they want to do. They're wanting to take that step. They're wanting to move forward. They're wanting to be what it is that they can be, to really take that step. They were telling me about some of their podcast ideas that they had. I'm like, do them. I mean, they finally launched one that they're doing now, and they're thinking about a couple others. And I think that's just a great opportunity for you to get that done and get that taken care of, and really being able to help them be the best that they can be. And that's all I really can say, and it's all I can really say every week. It's really using that and encouraging that, being that person, being that friend that's closer than a brother, closer than a sister, being there for your family, being there for your friends, being there for your coworkers, helping them take that next step to be successful as they're trying to make that next step in life. And really watch and think about the words that you're using. Think about the criticism that's coming out. And are you thinking before you speak, or are you just letting it go? How are you using that to really help them be the best that they can be? How are you doing that and using that to be the best that you can be? How are you applying it to your life? What are you doing in your life that you can apply, that others can see and they can apply to? It really is. It's building up one another. I think that is the purpose in anything that we do. Coworker, management, supervisor, CEO, janitor. It's just having that smile on your face and really, holding the door when you go to the coffee shop for somebody, telling somebody hi with a smile. It was funny because there's that meme that I've been seeing on Facebook, and it says, confuse people and smile. I mean, how often do you hear that? How often do you smile? Do you share that with others? Do you have, or do you just always look frumpy and grumpy? I know I probably do. More often than I probably need to. But, I do the best that I can. I'm not, by any means am I saying I am the genius or have a clue of any of this. Because, again, I do this just to help me and to help me help myself grow, to make that step and to, really kind of get a lot of things that are on my mind and get them off my mind. Kind of helping it just chill. Just the same way of why I do my journaling every day. Which I always heard about that for years, and I never really did. And a few years ago, I finally started doing it, and I just noticed how my mind finally started to calm down. And I share that with friends all the time about journaling, and then they're afraid that someone's going to find it. I say, you don't have to keep it. As soon as you write it, shred it. But I read something that it was better to do the journaling by writing it out longhand than typing it on a computer, because the connection from your mind to your hand when you let it just helps release that pressure, just helps you let it go as you take those steps forward. And I couldn't believe that when I actually did it, that's exactly how it felt. It finds out that I'm actually letting something go. You hear about writing the letter when you're having a problem with somebody. You're trying to forgive yourself and you can't. You're trying to forgive someone else and you're not able to. And maybe they're gone and you're not able to have that conversation. But just writing them a letter and sharing it is what's on your mind. They don't have to see it, but you're getting it out. You're having that conversation that needs to be had. And then you can let it go. You can shred it. You can get rid of that letter. You don't have to keep it. You don't have to keep it around. It doesn't have to be found where someone runs across it. It's those coping mechanisms. I have to find coping mechanisms all the time on how I deal with stuff. And again, they don't always work. I have my days. We all have our days. We try to do our best. And sometimes I have my best day and I fall the next day, or I fall that day, or I just get completely overwhelmed for whatever the reason being. Who knows really why? I gotta stop and go, what happened today that threw me over the edge? But I do the best that I can. Proverbs 18. That's what we're looking at today. Again, where are you in your life and how can you use this to apply for you? How can you use it to really make something out of your life to be the better person, to helping others be better people? All right? Thank you for listening to The Gospel Road. Have a great day. God bless.